seconds remaining. Drop. 15 seconds remaining.
Hello everybody, welcome to the DAL Titan League Week 3. Though it is Thursday, we're not yet at the last game or the last stream of the week. This is going to be a one game stream, however, so no 2 or even 3 games lined up back to back to back. Tonight, we're going to be seeing Uniique Esports play off against Hostile Actions, and that matchup is bound to be pretty good, pretty interesting. Of course, Hostile Actions, they have so far a perfect track record. They have, I believe, 5 victories under their belts and 0 defeat, 0 loss so far. Uniique Esports, they are up there as well, though not all the way up there. So they're ranked 4th with 3 victories and 1 loss. So still pretty good. And, you know, they have played a lower amount of games total than Hostile Actions. So, of course, fewer opportunities to lose points. But all in all, we are definitely within the top half of the brackets. And therefore, that match is supposed to be fairly interesting, if I do say so myself. As you can see, the map bans have happened while I was doing the introduction, so we will be playing Kafe and Uniique Esports seems to be attacking first. So we'd be basically ready to invite the players to the lobby. Let's do this right now. Let's create an online lobby, and right here, Central US, and create it as a spectator. Oh, Madro. You don't have keyboard. Madro? Madro. Let's take a look at that. Right here. We're going to be doing a bit of troubleshooting in the meantime. Oh, boy. Okay. Without the keyboard inputs allowed, it's not going to be easy. So, Madro, our dedicated observer, is going to be taking care of that for us tonight. So the map is going to be Kafe. You know what? I'll just invite the players first, and then we'll be setting everything else up as they will be joining as we do everything else. So for Uniique Esports, it's really easy. .ue, and I'll have Aquatic found in my friends lists. There we go. And as soon as they join, of course, we know .ha. That's a nice thing with having organized teams. They are going to have the name of their team as their Uplay player handle, and therefore it makes them very easy to find in your teams, in your friends lists, without even having to know by heart who really is or which one of the players you have in your friends list and which one do you not have. So blue team is going to be Uniique Esports, and our orange team is going to be Hostile Actions, since of course Uniique starts attacking. I do want to say this map is defense-sided, so it could have a bit of an impact on the outcome of the first half, of course. But the outcome of the first half is kind of really important, since, after all, this is where morale gets either made or broken. So, hypothetically, you would expect the defense to win out a majority of the rounds on this map. So, if Uniique Esports were to lose a few rounds before the halftime occurs...
Hans, I love you.
I love you too, Fond. Well, then in that instance, you might expect, Uniique Esports' morale to be slightly lower when they get into the easier side for them. But, by virtue of them having a lower morale at that point, well, maybe having the easier side isn't going to be that big of a factor as it will have been for Hostile Actions, who started there basically fresh.
Hi to Noah, who's in the chat. What's up, Noah?
Well then, Noah, you heard it first. Hi, Noah. How are you doing? And with all that being said, there's only like one last player that has to join in, and we're going to be ready to go. Let me just prepare the map ban overlay in here. Oh, let me actually open it up over there, because the dedicated observer might likely be hogging the keyboard. Yeah, we wanted to set up a dedicated clean feed, i.e. the observer. The observer was supposed to be hosting the match and then streaming it on a secret channel. I grab it and then I restream it basically to the public feed. However, we were having issues with YouTube. The YouTube's compression is way too harsh, in my opinion. Of course, they're a huge platform. They're receiving, a lot of data, so they have to compress it somehow. But then the video quality, suffers as a result of that. So, as unfortunate as it is, we're not going to be able to have a dedicated clean feed, but still, we do have a dedicated observer. So, hello everybody. How are you doing? Are you ready? And are your mosses running?
Yeah. We're just waiting for Aquatic to get back. Should be a minute.
Great. So, Uniique Esports won't be ready just yet. That's no big deal. I mean, they're here. At the end of the day, that's what matters. Because we can wait 2 minutes, but if they were to be totally absent, that would be a different issue entirely. So, if I was to get into my personal predictions for this map, I couldn't tell you. Because, of course, Hostile Actions, they have a flawless track record so far. You would expect them to be behaving, admirably, looking at their results here. Uniique Esports only have a defeat under their belt, but it should provide an extra incentive. I mean, at the end of the day, Hostile Actions, they can still allow themselves to lose a round or a game or two, and it wouldn't be too dramatic because it's the top 4 teams that will go into the playoffs, and they're ranked first right now. Whereas Uniique Esports, they're ranked 4th, so a slip up and the playoffs might be out of reach for them. And that in and of itself should make it so that Uniique Esports have a bigger incentive than Hostile Actions to win this map. It doesn't necessarily mean that Uniique Esports is necessarily going to win it, but if we were to talk about motivation or reasons to try extra hard or to sweat profusely tonight, I think Blue Team would have the biggest of the two incentives. At the end of the day, though, it will remain to be seen. One question I might have basically for myself is what kind of operators you can expect to see banned and or played if they don't get banned, because we can see at this point which team favors which operator, right? This is a league. This isn't like a Go 4 where your opponent's going to be different every single week. These teams will be scouting each other, looking at the streams. They'll be playing each other twice, even more often if they end up making it to the playoffs. Oh, and they're ready. They can even face off against each other like 5 times in total, if the stars align correctly. All right, so since you're ready, good luck, have fun, and as always, may the best team win. Without further ado,
Good luck, have fun.
let's jump right into it. So yeah, also quick reminder, Echo is not allowed. There you go. So no need to ban him. He is not allowed to be played in the first place. So there's that. There's that. Keyboard, keyboard, keyboard. Do you not have access to the keyboard, Madro? Like try typing like F10 or something to open up the... Well, if that don't work... Oh, did you jump out and... you jumped out and you came back in. Okay, let's keep an eye out on that. Okay, so you now have keyboard access again. Our first ban is going to be Thatcher. If you want to try like an F10 or something, just to make sure. Yeah, it works. Okay. So Thatcher, without any surprises, of course, right? He is a crutch ban. As unfortunate as it is, like Thatcher would be hard to consider as overpowered, you know, in and of itself. You know, for example, in a ranked match, you don't think to yourself, okay, they brought a Thatcher, we're lost. But utility-wise, he is so strong that you basically have to ban him. So it puts him into a gray area balancing-wise because you hardly consider him OP, and yet you have to ban him. Ultimately, it is poor balancing on Ubisoft's part, simply because you know, forcing hostile actions to ban Thatcher, it robs them of their decisions, robs them of choice, and ultimately they can no longer try to go for something different, or they can no longer be too unique in that regard, right? No pun intended. Because if you think to yourself, okay, we have this one strategy, but it absolutely does hinge on the absence of, let's say, I don't know, Kali, which would be a poor man's Thatcher, but you know, bear with the absence of Blitz, the absence of Lion, anything along those lines, right? If you absolutely do need Lion to be absent, or Gridlock, or Nomad, right? Your roamers. If you like roaming, Nomad, Jackal might be interesting to ban out, but then you really don't have a choice because you have to ban Thatcher first and foremost. So that's just gonna be my 2 cents, my quick little rant here. Without further ado, we're going to be jumping into the first round, which seems to be played in kitchen service and kitchen cooking. So most teams would go at the top floor first, but it looks like Hostile Actions will be playing the disinformation card. They'll be baiting it out, and let's see how it goes. One thing is for sure, Uniique Esports, though they likely expect to be attacking the top floor, that move is not unheard of. So I doubt that they'll get caught, so to say, with their pants down. Ultimately, their composition was probably still handpicked to attack the top floor, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference. VZ saying, let's go Xag and maybe Accent. Wait, are you like rooting for Xag but not Accent? Thing is, they're on the same team, so if one performs poorly, the team as a whole is going to suffer as a result. So I wouldn't say, hey, let's go a certain player but not the other one. I would say let's go a certain team but not the other one, depending on who you're rooting for. With all that being said, you can definitely see that this strategy is not your typical ranked strat, and as such, it is a custom-made strategy. As far as custom-made strats go, it is a fairly predictable and unusual one, but still not the default, most predictable thing ever. You do have a couple of castle barricades, which will cut off the line of sights more than anything else, right? Because thing is, they're supposed to protect rotation holes, and as such, movements into the map as a whole should be unimpeded, or at the very least not impeded too much. You are going to be seeing a few roamers, so Devils at the top floor. We saw a silhouette right there. I think it's Aquatic or IQ silhouette that's running on the roof. But ultimately, Aquatic, assuming it's him, seems to be fairly alone. Yeah, it's by him. So he's going to be pushing basically on his lonesome, whereas the rest of his team seem to be going for a horizontal push. Like, if we were to look, Ofan might be helping him out, but you know, the more I talk, the more attackers find their way on the roof. So Thermite seems to have been able to open up that reinforced wall, you know, in the meantime. But ultimately, by virtue of having 3 attackers on the top floor, the 2v3 for the bomb site itself is just not gonna succeed, or it's highly unlikely to succeed. You have no cover whatsoever, no verticality. The area is crawling with roamers. JD here almost getting her first kill or getting his head blown off. Thing is, they're already on bomb site and they're planting. Excuse me, what in the damn hell is happening? Luckily for them, Devils is gonna catch that Jirogen off guard. However, the bait was pretty nice. I mean, it might almost have worked had the entire roaming phase from the other attackers worked a bit quicker, a bit better. Had they been able to tie the defenders down, it might have worked. Unfortunately for them, Jirogen is now dead. He was able, utility-wise, to prove his worth as a thermite, but you still find yourself in a 4v5 situation. With just about a minute remaining on the clock, it is not yet, you know, a dramatic situation, but if you were to remain stagnant like you were, or like you currently are, it will quickly dissolve, or it will quickly become a critical situation. Devils, still the ever roamer, will be a great danger. Oh, and Limbo here getting a nice kill on Apostle, but not being able to get a double kill out of it. Fond, once again, putting pressure on OBJ, and Austin is on bomb side himself. He could probably plant, but the thing is, you still have not cleared out those roamers, so it's just a matter of time, right? Austin holding its side angle, and that's why he cannot allow himself to plant, because he is, you know, holding the chokehold. There you go, or the choke point, rather. Sorry about that. No, finding himself in a 1v3 situation, there's not too much he can do, and ultimately he will fall to hostile actions fire, and therefore the defense will win the first round. Let's see if the replays worked through the screen share, because, oh, it worked. Okay, we had to, you know, change up a little, oh no, don't crash on me, please don't crash on me. We had to change up a setting. We had to tweak a setting to accommodate the remote desktop sharing, and not that I was skeptical, but we hadn't had time to test it out. Luckily for us, it does work. So, as we can see, hostile actions, they spread themselves quite thin, right? They had a few roamers up top, and by extension, you know, the site was poorly defended, and attackers were able to funnel through and make it on the bomb site and even attempt to plant. But thing is, those roamers that were, you know, crawling about, they were there when it mattered to get a kill on the attackers on bomb site from without. And from without, they were able to basically win the round. You know, Austin here, he could have planted, like he had the bomb site in his back, the diffuser in his back pocket for a long time. Ultimately, he was never free. He was never clear to plant, and that ended up being the roamer's true force, true strength. So round number 2, without any surprises, after having won in the first floor, we're gonna go top floor, cocktail lounge, and bar. Yeah, the bomb sites names on the top floor are quite confusing. Like cocktail bar and bar, it's not just a big bar. To me, it seems like a big room, but ultimately, it's just vocabulary. One thing is quite interesting though. So we had seen that there's a big rotation hole in the bathroom wall. Why would you put a rotation hole here? Because usually most teams would reinforce that, as you know, taking control of bathroom, especially since it's opened up right here, would be basically a freeway into the bomb site. We are definitely looking at an extended hold. You know, there's a rotation hole right here. Is it going to be used basically as a mirror window? Like, you can crouch behind the shield, look through the slits, and then, you know, peek like you would peek with a mirrorless black window. So that would be my hypothesis as to why hostile actions want to defend that way. One thing is for sure, I've never seen this particular setup before, and therefore I will deem this as being a new strategy as far as, you know, my personal experience is concerned, and therefore I will be quite curious to see how effective it is. Zag seems to be, you know, the first one to be possibly receiving pressure, but apparently Apostle will be getting a kill on Devils from the top floor, looking to get a double here. He will get another kill. Zag will get a nasty bullet to the head. Now a 3v5 situation. Limbo will have to come back up slowly, ever so slowly. He puts Apostle down. That's going to be a nice shot, but ultimately Apostle will just be revived as soon as the other attacker drops down. So, what's next? Well, Axon seems to be next. He will be holding the angle as much as he can. Good thing is, his gadget is not electronics based, so Aquatic cannot take too much intel off him, you know, by simply holding that angle. But it doesn't seem like the Toxic Bay will be dealing too much damage. Plus, ultimately, he's not exactly attacking the attackers. He's just holding an angle. And the coordination here. Uniique Esports with a Zophia's impact nade followed up immediately by a frag grenade. That worked flawlessly, leaving us in a 2v5 situation. Uniique Esports, though a few players have lost a tremendous amount of health, can still get the flawless round. Or the other way around, Hostile Actions, if they do get the comeback, if they do get the clutch, that would be beautiful. Both defenders getting a kill in rapid succession. Now with 1 minute remaining on the clock, 2v3 situation, Diffuser has been lost. And even though they are in a numerical disadvantage, they still have a solid foothold on the OBJ. I mean, Uniique Esports couldn't just walk up right there and plant. And no matter who was to, rotate back and get the Diffuser for themselves. Heavy pre-fire sure will cut off the attack, but no kill will occur. Austin eventually getting the frag, and that's going to be a double kill for him. That was Zofia twice, right? Exactly. Austin with the double kill. Uniique Esports not giving up an inch. And yeah, there you go. Even though they lost last round, not exactly in a critical fashion, but they still lost decisively. That time, you could say they won decisively. And, that map being fairly defense-sided, I wouldn't have thought that we'd be seeing, easy attacks on the primary bomb site such as this one. But apparently, Uniique Esports do have a trick up their sleeve. So if I was to kind of try and analyze that last round, was it a solid push on the attacker's part or a weak defense on Hostile Actions' part? Because, like I said previously, this, as far as I'm concerned, was a new strat, which I had never seen before, and therefore I was evaluating the strength or the worth of that strategy, of that defensive setup for the duration of the round. And to me, it feels like basically most of it was fairly... Oh, and the pistol double tap, the pistol flick here was amazing. It kind of feels to me like most of the strategy was typical, right? The one key factor that did set it apart was the hold in bathroom, right? Accent basically opening up the wall as a whole and then putting a shield where the wall once was. Thing is, when you have your shield deployed directly into the doorway, you are open to frag grenades or to explosions in the general sense of the word, right? And we've seen this happen exactly like what just transpired. So if you were to, for example, put it, 2 feet back, just set a step back and then put it down. Then you can also protect it with Jaeger ADSs, which unfortunately was not possible last round. And they're gonna go with the exact same strategy as before. So let's see what's gonna give now, because Uniique Esports, they just played that strat. They know how to counter it. Visibly, they were able to produce results. So it is basically going to be up to Hostile Actions to, revamp their execution to be sure to hold the OBJ with the greater chances of success. But if I was to look, for example, at Accent, who took a death that he could not really avoid last round due to the grenade, for which he never had any reaction time, well, he's open to the same death as last round. So, generally speaking, I am a bit worried for them. Of course, Hostiles will be learning from their mistakes. But are they learning fast enough is basically what I'm trying to ask. Apparently not. Apparently they are, rather, since JD is capable of getting a nice Nitro Cell kill. Last round, he only got Apostle down but not out, so he only got him injured. Thing is, injured, he still got revived. So that Nitro Cell this time is going to provide, say, a permanent result. We are, however, going to be seeing Zag also get a kill. And that runout can be fairly aggressive. It will work to some extent. Aquatic is going to be extremely low on health, but ultimately he's still alive. Isn't that what matters at the end of the day? Thing is, it is. That sounded redundant. Because, I mean, even with 1 HP, he can still hold an angle on the staircase and cut off Limbo's, rotation back up on the staircase. So, for what it's worth, he can still be of great danger, even though he's going to be extremely lit and extremely easy to dispatch. For the time being, however, it seemed like Limbo is coming up on the other staircase, and therefore Aquatic's positioning is going to be basically useless. And as I say this, he's going to get killed, leaving us with the Apostle in a 1v5 situation. There's not too much he can do here. His position is absolutely known. He'll be receiving pressure from the bottom floor. He will not be getting that kill. Limbo jumping on an air jab, finding himself on his back, but not before getting the kill. And that's going to make for a fairly dramatic final kill cam. Plus, that was a flawless round, so definitely Hostile Actions learned their lesson quickly enough to be able to recover, and recover pretty quickly at that. And therefore, we're going to be seeing a 1-2 scoreline. Let's jump right into the replays. So,
has been dropped.
the chat said, wait, is everybody playing with banned skins? I had not been keeping an eye out for that especially, but Madro, were you seeing banned skins? Like, just let me know on Discord, because I didn't spot any. Saying I don't know. Yeah, couldn't tell you either. And usually the players will say, hey, aren't you not supposed to play that skin, when they would be the direct victims of such a breach of the rules. For example, if we were to look right here, if we were to zoom in real quick, neither of those two skins are banned. The Maestro, I believe that's his default skin, isn't it? I couldn't tell. It's not. Yeah, it's the default skin. So even though it is quite bland, even though it would, you know, hide pretty well, it's not going to be banned. And JD with Valkyrie is allowed as well, since that is also the default skin.
10 seconds to go.
So all in all, doesn't seem to be the case, or for hostile actions at least, right? Uniique Esports haven't yet spawned in, so we cannot check their skins right now. Is there a banned skin of the drone? I don't think so. Though a say elite drone or a variation of the drone skin might be interesting. I mean, Ubisoft, you've tapped into basically everything, you know, cosmetics wise, except for knives and drones. I mean, if you want to have a custom grenade, that could be something, but I don't think they're gonna go that route. Just a thought, though. Just a thought. So, of course, right? They won bar. They have to go elsewhere. What are they gonna do? Well, it's going to be a reading defense, which is fairly easy. Now, a few key details have been figured out recently, making that bomb site a lot more viable than it previously was. And to be honest, if I was to go on a tangent here, this is what I really do love about Rainbow Six. Kafe as a map has been in the game since the very beginning. It's been reworked over a year now. It was reworked, yeah, over a year ago at this point. And still, as a community, we're still figuring things out. So, you know, how many strats or how many things is there to discover on this game? Period. Or, you know, how many things in total are there to discover? And how many of those things have we yet to discover? That is going to be really interesting. Aquatic sending the drone in, unfortunately not finding anything. So he knows that there's going to be somebody likely on his contact left. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to do anything about that, and you know the shotgun at that range is going to be extremely dangerous. I don't think the drone has spotted Accent though, and therefore that could be huge. Oh, and Zofia will be breaching, and we did not see that coming up. Hostile with a nice kill on Accent. They knew he was there. They purposefully, the attackers, ignored him, and that worked flawlessly. That's going to be a kill and a refrag immediately for IQ. JD having the final laugh. However, JD ultimately is on the failing side, so he is going to be finding himself at a numerical disadvantage, which will be brought back up to a standstill and an actual advantage thanks to Limbo's double frag. Yeah. So, you know, with the 2v2 situation, he has to drop down, and he will just barely evade fire here. Luckily for him, totally blind as he is, that's going to be dumb luck, basically. And they're going to find themselves in a 1v2 situation. However, Fawn is extremely lit, extremely low. Therefore, you know, he can be easily dispatched, and it can fairly easily become a 1v2 situation, especially since you now do have those evil eyes in the game, right? Maestro is still alive, and the amount of health that Fawn still has is basically the amount of health you can realistically expect the Evil Eye to take away before it gets destroyed. However, now is no longer the time to sit on your cameras, since Limbo is now gone for. Well, Zag is going to be finding himself in a 1v2 situation, and he can rely on nobody else. That's going to be an unfortunate team kill. Fawn, what are you doing? Planting the diffuser would be basically suicide at this point, and he's just going to stick it out. But Zag was expecting a run out, so it is going to play in his advantage after all. All he has to do is to hold the angle and just wait passively here. Heavy pre-fires are likely to be end of him, but no, he rotates out. Why were you retreating? Oh, that was dumb. That was dumb luck. Or really unfortunate series of events. Zag, therefore, he must realize that he's alone, right? And therefore, he's going to destroy the diffuser. What are you looking for? What are you waiting for? I mean, he still seems to be actively expecting a threat which will not come. Like, of course, none of the players are dead. There's no claymore or anything along those lines. So yeah, hostile actions. You know, after a slight hesitation here, are gonna take that round home as well. And the scoreline is ever improving for them. It's now a 4-1, a 3-1 scoreline rather. And granted, they're only ahead by 2 points, but it is what it is, right? Yeah, winning a few rounds in a row, back to back to back, isn't exactly easy, especially not if you're on defense. Or especially not if you're on offense, rather. Wow, I am mixing my words up tonight. I quite enjoyed to see the back and forth on that round. Like, you had a kill, it was refrag, you had a double kill, then you had a double kill coming the other way around. It was quite entertaining to watch because you couldn't tell who was gonna win, right? Maestro could have sat on the cameras, could have gotten the kill on Noma when she was dropping down by the pillars, but then Jaeger rushed back up. He died, leaving us with Maestro, who can no longer afford to sit on cams. And you know, I definitely did see a few mistakes here and there. But ultimately, yeah, it was the back and forth. And right here, why would you rotate out? Why would you do that? That was a huge mistake, which rightfully so ended up costing you the round. So, as unfortunate as it is, it do be like that sometimes, is all I have to say. So, round number 5. Second to last before the roll swap, second to last before the halftime occurs. What can we expect from that round? Ultimately, Hostile Actions, they've won in basically every viable bomb site there is. So, they're going to go back downstairs again in the kitchen. And you remember how, I want to say, unusual the first round was. First round being the last time we went in the kitchen bomb site, with having a lot of roamers, which made the diffuser, or the bomb site itself, fairly opened, and by being as open, it allowed the attackers to funnel in. They were able to attempt the plan, didn't end up happening, but you know, ultimately, Uniique Esports spent a lot of time on bomb sites. And, you know, at a glance, that round seems to be shaping up to be fairly similar. I mean, if you look at it, you do have the roamers, you do have only a few silhouettes on bomb site, and you still do have the attackers basically setting themselves up with the same initial movements and insertion points, right? Jurojin, once again, prepared to breach the reinforced wall of Bakery. Apostle clearing the way, of course, right? Because Therma is going to be your VIP operator. They're not going to be breaching the exact same wall, but, you know, the angle of attack is absolutely the same as it was last time around. Your roamers are still going to be at the top floor. Your roamers are still going to be a really big source of danger, which Austin and his teammates on the top floor will have to tie down immediately if they want to give a viable chance at for their teammates to plant the diffuser. With the first blood happening, oh, Devil's got the first kill. Oh, they traded. Okay, I didn't notice that. So, yeah, I thought he turned around, you know, on instinct, on reflex, but that was an amazing flick shot, which I had not realized what actually was one. So, Thermite still breaching the wall. The pressure is still going to be mounting. However, unlike last time around, that time the attackers have the control of the top floor directly above OBJ, and therefore the odds of getting the diffuser planted just increased dramatically, since you can no longer really just rotate back in and, you know, deny a plant of the diffuser to Jurojin. He was shot from above. Nobody's above now, and the guys that are going to be protecting him. So, what can the defenders do? Basically, they have to get back on site pretty quickly. Like, with those heavy pre-fires, Apostle is making his position absolutely known, so JD might want to clear him out. I don't think Castle has been identified as being, you know, basically to Apostle's left. The angle he's holding is going to cut off a rotation, granted, but the attackers don't have to make said rotation. They just have to plant directly after they set foot on OBJ. And that is absolutely something Jurojin is contemplating right now. Mute is gonna, you know, bite the dust thanks to Austin. Austin knew he was there. He turned around just in time. But I believe Zag was firing the Evil Eye camera. However, the House of Cards is just tumbling, is just crumbling at this point. Limbo Zag finding themselves in a 2v4 situation. He is going to get the top floor controlled back again, so that is good, because now he can, you know, deny the plant of diffuser if he finds the angle. And Aquatic is still going to be on his case, getting a kill on Limbo. But now in a 1v2 situation, Zag is not able to deny the plant of diffuser, but both of his opponents are really low on health. He's going to get the first kill on IQ, now leaving us with a heavy LMG that he has to reload. And Jurojin, who fell back and who's now holding a pretty tight angle. His angle might be good, but you can still see a lot of bullets coming his general direction. He knows that he's going to be there. He holds the angle, and he gets the kill. Jurojin waiting Uniique Esports their second round. And that in and of itself is pretty good. You would consider an evenly matched up team, or even teams, to have a 4-2 scoreline for the rule swap. And basically, the attackers already have their 2 points. So that next round can only go better than needed for them, basically. But one thing is for sure. Hostile Actions defense, all across the board, not just for the one round in particular, seems to be somewhat odd or somewhat unconventional. It works from time to time. Like, of course, they were able to get a flawless round on round number 3, I believe. Actually, not just I believe, they were able to get a flawless round on round number 3. But then, some other rounds didn't exactly go their way. For example, this one. So, I couldn't tell you exactly what or why they're doing it. Because if you are, say, field testing some new strategies, that is what a scrim is for, isn't it? So, yeah, and that flick shot was amazing. It was so amazing that I didn't even realize it was a flick shot. There's that. Leaving us with round number 6, last round before the rule swap. So, for round number 6, what can we expect? It's top 4 defense, so that's going to be another round played on bar. And what's going to transpire here? They're once again going for the very same strategy. So, you know, it is usually a back and forth. The first time around, Uniique Esports were able to win. Second time, Hostile Actions improved or innovated on the few key details that were missing the first time around. So now, the back and forth, or the pendulum, should swing Uniique Esports' way. Let's see what's going to actually happen, because, you know, it is not just on paper. On practice, I mean, the push can go both ways, of course. One thing I do want to point out, however, is that you do see that Hostile Actions are a bit late to finish up their setup. And if you were to have, you know, the Finka juiced up Ash that runs up the stairs, it is unlikely to work, because, you know, a blind rush is rarely the right thing to do. But still, you could catch 1 or 2 defenders off guard, and it's the kind of thing that you would really hate to see as a Hostile Actions fan, and that you wouldn't exactly be counting off as a Uniique Esports supporter. So if it was to work, it would be a happy surprise to say the least. Aquatic has already lost a fair amount of health, and I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly why and how that happened, but that's going to be, you know, a first engagement, I assume. I don't think he lost that, you know, to a breaching charge. So the first engagement, which is going to go Hostile Actions' way, Limbo is going to get a kill on Austin. Utility-wise, not the biggest kill ever, but, you know, it is still a kill, and Uniique Esports cannot claim the same prize for themselves, i.e. having taken an opponent's life so far. Plus, you do have Aquatic and Fawn who are slightly injured. Nothing too major, but, you know, for some guns, you know, if a gun deals, say, 32 bullets of damage per shot, well, you need 4 shots, but as soon as your opponent has lost, say, 5 hit points, I'm not going to do the exact math in my head right now, well, it drops down to 3 bullets to kill. So even that slight difference can actually make the difference between life and death in their next firefights. Fond is going to get a kill, which we missed, but that was on JD, that was on your mute. And the pressure all around, you know, the pressure all around is mounting. You can definitely see the intention profiling itself. Oh, and Thermite never knew that you had Zag right here. Of course, that advantage of surprise isn't going to last. He's going to get rushed, refrag, but the refrag itself will be refragged by Limbo. And thus, we're not going to be having a 2v2 situation, but Apostle is on bomb side, and the defenders know that they want to get back in here as quick as possible, but they don't have to, as the attackers don't have the diffuser, but that information is not privy, or, you know, Hostile Actions are not privy to that vital piece of information. So, Smoke is going to die defending a great treasure, which he didn't even know he had. Leaving us with Limbo, basically going back and forth. He's in the middle of the corridor, so he has to hold to the 2 ends of the corridor, and that's not gonna work just as well as he seems to have hoped to. So, Apostle winning round number 6. The scoreline is gonna be 3-3 for the roll swap. That's exciting. That's really exciting if you're a Uniique Esports supporter and fan. So, I might just be talking to the wind here, but my observer tonight is Madro. Madro, who usually is also a caster, he didn't feel like casting tonight. Too tired and that kind of stuff, so he preferred only to observe. But my question is, it is not too late for you to just unmute the mic and start talking, because that game is looking pretty good, to be honest. It is a really nice match, and I'm having fun casting this. So I assume you probably would have some fun too, since you know a good match is a good match. So do you want to unmute your mic? It's never too late just to reconsider if you want to start casting.
I mean, you're doing me a very nice offer, but I mean, I'll maybe cast a little. Also, I just need the keyboard again. I just
Oh, you disconnected. You know what? Let me. Oh, that's unfortunate. There you go.
But
There you go.
yeah, I mean, it's fun casting, but when I'm tired like this, I'm more gonna view than cast, you know. But I mean, yeah. How's your viewing experience so far?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, that's a nice thing. We have rarely, or we have never actually done this exact arrangement before. You basically observing while I'm casting. So there's a few things that will get better over time, simply because you know we'll gather more practice over time. But for a first try, you know, we didn't dry run this beforehand. For a first attempt, it is really good. Like a small detail, hit V to collapse the hit V to that. we did it both at the same time to collapse the view, because at some point it's just too much information that's on screen and it just eats up a lot of the UI, or a lot of real estate on the screen. So
Yeah, I mean,
you know, small details.
Really, I'm not gonna talk much. I'm really concentrated on viewing. But you know, if I see some stuff, if I see that you're casting very well and stuff like that. But if I see some stuff, I'm definitely gonna call it out.
All right. So this was the rule swap, right? And therefore, Uniique Esports are now defending. Hostile Actions, of course, being the attackers this time around. And therefore, you might expect the habits or the rules to totally be different. Simply because last time, the Jaeger that was roaming is no longer the same player that's roaming right now. So you see a roamer, you expect to see the same habits and playstyle coming from the same operator, but it's just not going to be the case. One thing I do want to point out is that Hostile Actions composition seems to be a bit more aggressive, right? You do have Ashe, which Uniique Esports never brought to the table, simply because, you know, purely utility-wise, Ashe isn't that interesting or that exciting of an operator, but she's extremely good at getting kills. And those kills, you know, getting kills is just as real a way of winning the round and then planting the diffuser. Xag, after having lost Limbo, but getting a kill in the process, Hostile Actions will be breaching into Piano, which was sparsely defended, or basically not defended at all, I want to say. You did have a player in there, but he had to rotate back, and it looks like Austin will be coming back up because, of course, the bomb site is next to open. Like, look at this. Devils was able to kill somebody on OBJ, and with no possibility of refrag or of vengeance whatsoever, it is going to be lackluster. There is, I believe, a Valkyrie camera underneath that of one of the seats, which the attackers don't seem to have spotted out. I saw it from the corner of my eye, and it is supported by the pings. So Uniique Esports will be having a lot of intel to work with. Unfortunately for them, if they ping, they are likely to lose the camera in the process. But for the time being, the pressure on OBJ is mounting, and Aquatic's angle is going to be fairly interesting. He is going to get a kill on Thermite. Utility-wise, that is big, but Thermite was able to breach the walls beforehand, so he's done his duty. Still, that was diffuser lost, and once again, Devils was standing right next to him, so recovering the diffuser, not too big of a challenge. Running back up, however, is going to be a big issue, since the air jab is definitely going to indicate where Aquatic is. He has to rotate back up, you know, a bit more slowly and methodically, and therefore that's going to take a bit more time. And in the meantime, the attackers, Devil, is going to get a kill on Apostle. Aquatic in a 1v2 situation. 3 seconds remaining on the clock. The diffuser is now being planted. If he can deny that, the round is going to be his, but it is going to be just too little too late. There's nowhere for him to deny it before it gets planted, and therefore he finds himself in a 1v2 situation. He could still revive his teammate, but that's just not going to be possible as he takes bullets from Devils. Hostile Actions winning round number 7. And they will be winning their first attack and trailing ahead once more on the offense, nonetheless.
I mean, here, what did I see? I mean, I was pretty much analyzing the game. I mean, the impossible refrag that we couldn't see here on the Nomad really did the round. Because if we had a refrag on the Nomad, we could have lost. But you know, we could have put ourselves. I'm talking here in the Uniique Esports situation. We could have put ourselves in an advantageous situation, but unfortunately, no, there was no refrag possible. So that was, from what I saw here, the cause of the loss of the round.
Yeah, refrags are huge in this game, and basically it comes down to the Nomad's air jab, right? Because Valkyrie wanted to come back up after getting a solid kill right here, and I do believe Aquatic also got a kill with his Nitro Assault. So all in all, Aquatic was a very, impactful player on the round. But then he wants to rotate back up. The air jab is going to deny that, leaving us with... Was it Hustle or Austin? I believe it was Austin, right? Jaeger was put down but not out. So Jaeger was bleeding out, and Austin still had to figure a way to get back up. And therefore, refrags not being possible, this was the end of the round, basically. So, I am curious to see why they're opening up that little wall, or I don't know, how would you call that? Is it a armrest? It's just like a half wall, half height wall.
Sidewall half wall,
Okay, yeah, half wall. So they're reaching the half wall, and you know it could be interesting if you want to hold an angle while the attackers repel in, because you could of course shoot them in the legs as soon as their feet hit the ground. But it would be an extremely dangerous line to hold. For example, if Fawn was to stay here and to hold the angle, he can get pre-fired pretty easily, and you know somebody could just breach the wall behind him, or the window behind him, and you know. Crouching down right here, and once again, he is still going to be exposed to a few different angles at the same time. And of course, you know, hostile actions, they are going to drone it out, and they're going to know where he is. So ultimately, is it just to give your black eye, so the Valkyrie cameras, a better line of sight? That might be it. But then you don't see every single team that wants to plant a black eye in that room go to the lengths of destroying that half wall. So I, to be honest, do not know, but on paper, it seems interesting to even think about that. So maybe I'll do this next time myself. In the meantime, you are... Yeah, do you want to add something?
There's really nothing to say. I mean, it's very peaceful here from the part of the two teams. Nothing
Absolutely.
really going on except for the smoke here. The first smoke is going to be deployed, and the first kill here by Jirogen is going to put himself and Uniique in an advantageous situation. Unfortunately, here the Zofia, who is going to be lost, so we're going to lose some firepower over here, but not too much in terms of how could I say this?
Utility?
Yes, utility-wise.
Accent is, however, going to get a kill on Aquatic, and that's going to be a huge kill. You know, your smoke can deny the push and can be a game changer in the last few seconds of the round. So losing him early on before he actually gets a chance to shine is big. That natural shot is likely to get the kill though. Austin with a nice frag on Xag, and Xag being the thermite will also be a huge loss for hostile actions, who will also lose the numerical equilibrium. Ultimately, we have Austin with the exact same angle as last round. Hostile actions not learning from their mistakes. Apparently, Austin is still able to get a kill, or Accent rather is still going to get a kill, leaving us in a 2v3 situation. Oh, this can be really dangerous for Apostle, and he's going to react accordingly. Devils in a 1v3 situation. His gun is unfortunately weak as he is a support operator, but when you're the last player alive, you have no choice but to fill in the entry frag role, because if you don't, well, nobody else is going to do that. And therefore, having Nomad outside of her element like she was a death sentence. And therefore, you're going to see the attackers unfortunately lose the round. And yeah, I was quite surprised to see hostile actions take the first win on defense, since this is on offense rather, since this is a defense-sided map. And now Uniique Esports have brought it back to what you would expect the game to look like.
I mean, here pretty much what I saw, the beautiful double kill here, the double kill here by Austin with the C4 and the same angle as last round. I mean, that really gave it away here for the Uniique. I mean, it put them in a 3v2 situation, 4v2 situation, sorry. And I mean, that was really game changer. If Austin perished during that second kill, it's I mean, it's the round could have gone completely different.
So we're not going to be seeing a kitchen defense. 4-4 being the current score line. It can really go both ways, because, I mean, if I was to analyze and say, okay, let's say Uniique wins the round. Uniique will then have to go reading. Reading would be a weaker bomb side, so hostile could likely win the game, or win the round. And, you know, if we were to follow this hypothetical situation, well, then Unique are gonna, or, you know, the equilibrium state is gonna hold for a few more rounds. The other way around, if Unique were to lose, well, they play here once, they play here a second time, and then they go back up. You know, the top floor, they're likely to win, but not guaranteed. We've seen this, right? The first time they defended the bar area, it didn't go too well for them. So, like I said, for the life of me, I couldn't tell you who's going to win it, or if we're even going to go into overtime. Overtime might be quite interesting, to be honest, since, once again, Hostile Actions are the undisputed winners. They have not yet lost a single game. They have a perfect track record. And if Unique were to be the team that was going to break that, you know, win streak, even though they themselves wouldn't necessarily be leading the standings, it would still be a nice badge of honor to say we are the ones that knocked Hostile Actions down a peg. Till then, we're going to have to see what happens. HA are going to be joining the top floor, so this really does look like a top-down approach. You take the control of the top floor, you move down a floor. If it works, you move down another floor, you know, depending on where the OBJ actually is. And that's going to be a key difference between their attack and Uniique Esports' push when they were attacking the kitchen. Since, you know, they were putting a heavy emphasis on Thermite and on breaching the bakery wall pretty early into the round before they actually made it to the rest of the game, of the building. And that is going to be quite aggressive from Valkyrie, but it's not going to work out. Accent, that's getting first blood.
Bomb located by attackers.
And was that the only roamer the defenders had? It seems that way at the very least. So, of course, you're going to be minimizing your losses by having not too many roamers. And you're going to be making the OBJ itself a harder nut to crack, simply because you have more defenders in that area. But, at the same time, your single roamer was unsuccessful in producing a single kill, and therefore you're still facing the full brunt of the assault on OBJ. If your roamer, singular pearl, depending, were able to get 1, 2, maybe even 3 kills before they all got wiped out, then you're only facing the two last attackers, 2 beat up attackers for the OBJ itself, which could have been pretty big. But unfortunately, Uniique Esports don't seem to be thinking that way, and they don't seem to be attacking that way. For example, here Fawn will be overwhelmed. He's facing 3 attackers. There's not too much he can do. He is going to inflict a lot of damage on Accent, and the flash is not going to impact him too much. But still, you only need like an Ash. You only need a Zofia to destroy the shield, and now he's going to be totally flash likely get pushed. Yeah, Devils right here is rushing in, and he will get the kill. And that flank is now totally open, which will lead to a double kill for Devils. And that is exactly why you might want to have a few more roamers about. But with only 8 seconds remaining on the clock, if he is successful in pre-firing heavily, that could be the end of it. He gets 2 kills down, but he doesn't actually seal the deal. Limbo has to plant, and that Nitro Cell might be the end. He will get a triple kill. Oh my gosh. That is a game changer. Wow. What a Nitro Cell.
Honestly, very nice Nitro. I mean, the players were already down except for the IQ, if I'm not mistaken. But
Ash was planting, IQ was covering, okay. So yes.
All right, so no.
There were 4 remaining. 2 were down, and 2 were still up. Yeah, 2 were. I mean, we're gonna see it through the replays. You're not seeing the replays right now because we didn't set you up as a caster. But yeah, so you had 2 players down. Ash planting and IQ covering. So the Nitro Cell getting 3 kills, and the last player alive being one of the down players who obviously can do nothing while being the last one alive. And that's what we saw, like 4 kills pop up, but only 3 were attributed to Aquatic.
Wow, I mean that very nice round here for the blue team. Aquatic with the absolute unique and unit of a C4.
Oh yeah.
It just went, as I say, a yeet. And,
okay, I was wrong on one single detail. Accent, the IQ had been fragged out. It was actually Zofia who was covering.
Oh, yeah, right.
But, you know, the general situation still was the same.
Yeah, it's still a support, you know. It's still somebody that comes and if you lose it, it's not that big of a deal, but it's still, you know, it's still unfortunate. Anyways, back in the round, I mean, Uniique Esports, Aquatic just basically, I mean, saved the round right there. Apart from the Jaeger, if I'm not mistaken, who
Yeah.
did the
Well,
double
Jaeger got the double down, so
Yeah.
even if he didn't get the kills to his name, you know, if we're to look, Jaeger was played by Fond, I believe. And if you hit, you know, the tab, Fond only has 6 kills, but he was, I wanna say, instrumental in allowing his teammate to get the other kills. So yeah, that was absolutely amazing. Also, I do know that the attackers are currently funneling in, so we're gonna have to make this quick. But if we were to look at the scoreboard, Limbo, top fragger of his team, and you know, by a solid margin. So basically, Uniique Esports, if you are able to frag out Ash, your chances of winning the round might, you know, jump up quite a bit. On the other team, it seems to be Aquatic, yeah, Aquatic, 10 kills. But then Austin is trailing behind, not too far behind, and therefore you don't have, you know, an easy target, you know, all or nothing. Kill that guy and you win it. It's not that simple for hostile actions. So, what can we expect for this bar defense? We haven't talked about the defense too much. Have you seen anything of interest while we were talking about
Well, I mean,
the scoreline?
these guys are holding the cocktail lounge entrance and pretty much the whole bar. They're trying to hold it up as much as possible. Either than that, I mean, it's pretty normal defense. You hold your site and you try to push away hostile actions away from the site as much as possible. So I mean, here it's pretty much the 3rd floor that is being held the most. I mean, we need the upstairs advantage.
Attackers have located
Yeah,
a bomb.
absolutely.
Other than that, there's pretty much not much to be said here.
One thing I'm quite curious about is as to why you want to have Jin, your smoke, be holding the angle he is currently, you know, covering, because smoke would be quite important to stay alive. And are they planting? Oh my god, how did that happen? Okay, they are not in the reading room. That's why Jin is going to be here, but you know, it's too little too late, unfortunately. And now there's not going to be any easy way of destroying the diffuser, as the attackers, hostile actions, will be holding an angle quite aggressively. Devils will know that somebody was on his back right here, but Apostle is not going to, you know, take the bait. Jin, he is surrounded. Ash never spotted him on his right side. He's going to be facing 2 attackers. Gets the first one down, does not get the second. But, you know, Ash was still there. There was nothing he could do. Apostle taking yet another air jab. His position is absolutely going to be known. Devils is going to be down, so that's going to be a free kill. But he does not even get it. He gets wall banged. Oh my gosh, what a round. Hostile actions, thus keeping the scores once again tied. What a quick round, by the way. They inserted through train, and they planted just like that. And just like that, the overtime situation seems ever so more likely. I mean, it's a 5-5 scoreline.
Yeah, I mean, here it's really it's 50-50. We know that the Uniique is very good here in defense, but we also know that the hostile actions is I mean, they're very aggressive. Like we saw here in the first minute of the round, they planted the goddamn diffuser.
Oh yeah, I mean, this was a rush. And you haven't seen them rush too often, right? They're only rushing when they know it is going to work out, because, you know, running in heads down blindly usually will cause you to have a few blind angles and to not notice who's where, and, you know, to not be aware of your surroundings too well. But then they droned out. They realized there was an opening, and they realized they had to exploit said opening pretty quickly before it gets patched up by the defense.
Bomb
By the
located
defense
attackers.
pronunciation. And that's exactly what they did. And you know, the results speak for themselves. So yeah,
I mean,
quick round, amazing round.
I don't think Uniique Esports here really how can I say this, expected the unexpected.
They did not expect that one bit, that is for sure.
I mean, here it was pretty much like the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody expected the Spanish Inquisition. So
Oh.
I mean, hostile just came in and I mean did the round. So
I want to say one thing is for sure, out of all the co-hosts and the co-casters I've ever, well, co-casted with, you are the most memey, or you're the memiest of them all. Like, you're memeing just about every single time.
I mean, that's what like brings life, I guess, in casting when you're memeing and you're pretty much doing like stuff that people can relate, or else what's the point of casting, just being like super serious? No.
Oh my gosh, did you see Zofia crawling up here?
Yeah, I couldn't like find her position real quick, but yeah,
that's
Jade,
unfortunate.
first absolute beauty of a kill here on
It
Apostle.
was. So JD getting the first blood here. Uniique Esports are going to be put on their back foot for the remainder of the round. They can still bring this back up, right? It's only a single kill and then your equilibrium is back in place. But ultimately, the advantage that Hostile has, in theory, they are supposed to try as much as they can to keep it and to use it to increase their advantage even more. And you just recorded a screenshot. I do not know why you did that. You probably misclicked here, but hey, screenshot it is.
Good night in the chat. I mean, maybe this could use as evidence. I don't know. Aquatic, beautiful kill here. On Zag, unfortunately, we missed it, but yeah, was he in the stairs?
Was in the stairs. I believe he was red. Oh, that. Because the thing is, oh, that can be huge. That's gonna be a double, barely not GD, very lit. Thing is, the Deagle. Oh my God, he is seeing everybody, but not getting another kill. How unfortunate! Wow, Devils and GD are gonna be extremely lit. It is still gonna be a 2v3 situation. Attackers do have the numerical advantage, but it takes half a breath in the cloud of toxic smoke, and they are gonna be gone for. But Smoke will be the one to disappear first. Aquatic, unfortunately, biting the dust to JD's hand. 53 seconds remaining on the clock. This is looking very doable now for Hostile Actions, simply because Fawn can only hold so many different angles at once, right? And they're going to insert from one angle he's not looking at, because the one that peeks is likely to get killed, right? The attackers are really low on health. They know they cannot repel in. It's only one bullet, and it is not going to be an easy situation for them to be in. But then they only have to cut off the rotation. That's all they have to do. And, being repelling up here and holding the angles, that's all they're looking for. However, Fawn was shooting at the barrel of the diffuser, not realizing it. He could have just kept on going at it, and that would have been the end of the round. But no, he rotated out, and now he realizes that he's lost the round. Basically, you do have a silhouette on the roof, so through Skylight, his rotations are going to be extremely limited because of the castle barricade. He cannot do too much, and yeah, that's exactly it. The one that peaks is likely to get shot. So Fond should have been a bit more insistent when he had the angle, when he had the drop on his opponent, not knowing that it was the barrel of the diffuser as well. He was denying access to the bomb site. But unfortunately for him, he rotated out when he should have been more aggressive. So this is not going to be Hostile Actions in a match point situation. Will they get to the 6-0 scoreline? They need a single round, and they have a flawless track record, which holds true for 3 whole weeks. That'd be huge.
I mean, here, nothing to say. Beautiful round to Hostile Actions. They pretty much, even though the Valkyrie here, Austin, almost did the triple kill,
yeah.
they pretty much left the scene with a grain of hair of HP, not hair. A grain of hair, yeah, it's totally doable to have a grain of hair, but pretty much a hair of HP. So, I mean, Hostile Actions, you guys like pretty much how can I say this? I have no words. I mean, Hostile Actions probably maybe very lucky, or Uniique, maybe just here Austin maybe just didn't have what was unlucky. We never know. I mean, it's Rainbow Six. What do you want?
yeah, that game is full of surprises. That's for sure. So, possibly the last round. It is going to be up to Uniique Esports to win the round. And that's the interesting part. Kafe, or Kafe's meta, seems to have shifted recently, because it was defense-sided, but now we've seen 3 rounds won on defense and 3 rounds won on attack for the first half point. And for the second half time, well, the same could hold true, assuming Uniique wins the next round, which is definitely a far cry of what we previously expected to happen on this map. But we will be defending kitchen again. We've only went here once since Uniique started defending, and the one time Uniique ended up winning. However, they won that thanks to that triple kill Nitro Cell, which, we do remember, right? I mean, if you forgot about that, take a look at the VOD, because you'll be surprised. Thing is, they won, but by a crazy lucky Nitro Cell toss. So, assuming nothing that crazy happens again, Hostile Actions basically have to do the same thing as last time, but not bunch up together, and the game could be theirs. I really couldn't tell you who I expect wins the round, because historical data backs up Uniique Esports, but then, realistically speaking, Hostile should have won the last round, so I really cannot tell what's going to happen here, and I love it. It is absolutely amazing how exciting such a match can be.
I mean, here I'm just checking the cams here, checking the situations of the player. Nothing to say really. I mean, they are really droning hostile actions. Here the Limbo, yeah, Limbo's gonna be coming in pretty much trying to destroy all of the electronics. Here really clearing out the top. I mean, we lost what, a minute and 45 until Axe, and here the first frag of the round is gonna get refragged here by Aquatic with Austin with the beautiful C4 on JD. So it's gonna put Uniique Esports in an advantageous situation. Sorry, but more than that, there's really not more than that. I mean, it's pretty normal. There's nothing normal, but you know what I mean.
All around, the round seems to be shaping up to be fair similar to the previous one, just a bit faster. So, you know, they're gonna get the kill on Jurojin right here pretty quickly, or Font rather. And as soon as he dies, they're gonna turn their attentions to the OBJ. And it's just like last time around, but they are stagnating more than last time over here. He was flashed. Limbo is out of bullets. What? Oh no, that is unfortunate. But you have nobody directly on OBJ. Oh, but Jurojin was able to get back in. Thermite will be breaching the wall with 15 seconds remaining on the clock. Bad news is Aquatic is out of a C4. No, he still has it. Oh, wait. Oh, Austin tossed a C4 previously.
5 seconds remaining.
And Jurojin gets the first kill. Will be refragged immediately, and the pre-fires will happen. It is going to be Hostile Actions keeping the win streak alive for yet another round, yet another game, yet another week. They will be the uncontested champions. And not just, you know, for a 1 or 2 win streak. That is big now. Winning 6 games in a row, even in ranked, is a pretty big accomplishment. But now, they won 6 games in a row in comp. That's even bigger.
Yeah, I mean, here, Hostile Action, beauty of a round. They really cleared out the top. They not wasted time, but, you know, they really made sure that no little angles and no little Unique Esports players were on top and maybe trying to go and kill them by their backs. So here, I mean, GG to Hostile, and yeah, I'm just gonna do the Twitter announcement.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I will be trying to get an interview going because that match absolutely does deserve an interview.
Attackers dropped into
Don't you think?
Absolutely.
So those were the replays. Beautiful match. Beautiful. One thing I will be doing, I'll be, of course, hitting the players up. Oh, but then the coach. Okay, so I know the guy I'm talking to on Discord is their coach. And their coach obviously is no player. So if he's watching the stream, I would not want to spoil this for him. So I'll be entering the scores in Battle 5 first. Oh, and by the way, guys, you know what? We should be playing that video. That we worked, you weren't here, but we worked like 3 hours on it tonight. Which match was this? Was this match 17? So match 17 is going to be around here, I believe. Oh no, it's going to be here. Match 17, Hostile Actions winning 7-5. Okay. So yeah, I absolutely do want to showcase the video which we have been working on today because, as you may know, and we'll be doing the interview directly after, as I just figure if a lot of people will be still here right now. We have keyboard. Wait, you still looking to get the keyboard? Why did you poke me on Discord?
It was just for me to get the logos.
Okay, so as you know, this is the Titans League, but DAL, as a tournament organizer, is also hosting other levels of competition. I would not expect the currently playing or the currently registered players to register on the other tournament format. However, if there were to be any viewers in the chat that thinks to themselves, oh, I'd like to play from time to time, this format, this game, which we're about to announce, would be perfect for you. We have started to to poke a few players, to send this to a few players here and there. DMing people of interest, sending, posted this to Discord, Twitter, YouTube, obviously. And I figured that might be a good moment to show this to you guys as well. So let me just
The score was 5-7, right?
Yes, the score was 5-7. I've already entered it into Battlefield.
No worries.
I just realized on that scene, my microphone is not enabled. So what I just said, you didn't hear that. That's unfortunate. Yeah, Madro, what did I say? Because I don't remember when I switched to the faithful scene.
Video?
We talked about the video. So what I said was, DAL as a tournament organizer is hosting different levels of competition, and I don't expect the players registered in that tournament to also participate in the other format. But for some of you in the chat, that might be quite interesting. We have posted this to a few different other places, DMing people on Discord, sending them on Discord servers, Twitter, YouTube, and I thought this might be also a good moment to showcase the video. So without further ado, with the microphone this time, because hearing us might be interesting. Well, without further ado, I'll let the video play and we'll see you in 2 minutes. Welcome to the Digital Athletes League. We're a new and upcoming community tournament organizer on Rainbow Six Siege, and we'll tell you about our project in the hope that you will give us a chance and participate in them in the near future. We currently have 3 events to our name: the Titans League, the Summer Cup, and the Cerberus Tournaments.
Both the Titans League and the Summer Cup are double round robin styles league, like you have come to love them, with their seasons currently ongoing. Registering to these events is therefore currently not possible. They will link together starting next season to implement a relegation system. These are our most prestigious events, and we hope to see you there starting next fall.
In the meantime, we also have a tournament format, which is what we really want to talk to you about today, since the Cerberus tournament has a more unique format. For those of you who have played in ESL's Go 4, you'll find that our format shares a lot of its DNA with the Go 4. There is a tournament taking place every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, in which you can register for free. One major difference, however, is the bracket format, as we will be using Swiss-style brackets. There are round-based brackets as compared to elimination-style formats like simple or double elimination. In each round, a team plays a match against their opponent, gaining a point if they win, losing a point if they don't. In the following round, the team will play against an opponent with the same score as them, leading to more evenly skilled matches as the game progresses. This is particularly interesting for those of the more novice teams who would otherwise play a single game and be kicked as a result of their first loss.
By playing in these tournaments, you will earn seasonal points, which will enable you to qualify for the playoffs at the end of the season. Our playoffs happen after 8 weeks of the regular season, and only the 8 best teams are invited to join and compete for the prize pool. Unlike the regular season, there will be an entry fee for the playoffs.
Should you be interested in participating, the tournament season starts on Sunday, July the 12th, and will run every weekend leading up to the playoffs, which will begin on September 12th. Please note that they will be played on both Saturday and Sunday. To participate, head over to battlefy.com/DAL-NA to register, but make sure to also join our Discord server and to follow us on Twitter to keep up to date with our latest project. See you all in game, and may the best team win. So that was the one announcement I wanted to make. The Cerberus tournament format was dormant, and we've decided to reboot the season, basically restart it and add a cash prize to it. It was not mentioned in the video, but if you were to take a look at our Battlefy organization page, you would see that the Cerberus tournament has actually a $600 prize pool, a actually bigger prize pool than the Titans League, which is something before the event started I was not expecting to have. However, it does make sense since you have a lot more players, so competition there might probably be a lot fiercer, right? For the Titans League, the amount of registrations was capped at 8 teams, and therefore your chances of winning here are technically or mathematically higher. But there's not too much I want to add about on that, since we do have an interview to get ongoing. Last thing I'll say is if you're interested and you're looking for a shortcut, in the chat, just type !DAL and the bot will answer with a link to our organization page. But without further ado, let's just take a look at the interview. And Madro, that means I will be leaving our private call. I'll be in the server in the Vibin channel.
No.
Ravials. So we'll be doing this in English, of course, since this was an English stream. How are you doing? And congratulations on your victory.
Thank you, Hans. I'm doing good, and you?
Doing pretty well. So this match was really nice to cast, to be honest. I mean, there was a lot of back and forth, and your team still remains the uncontested winners.
Yeah.
But it was pretty close, right? You have won 7-0 once, I believe, like 7-2 a few times. This match was pretty close. Uniique Esports have cemented themselves as being a worthy opponent, even though you ended up beating them. So I want to talk about the map.
It was pretty close. I mean, it was one of our first match together on this map. So
Okay.
I would say that we need more practice on this on Kafe, but yeah, a pretty good match.
So your match was quite interesting because, like you said, you have a new roster, right? Or the exact roster that you currently have. You hadn't had it for a long time. So how would you say your players performed considering the new roster? Did you expect them to perform better, poor? Was it just about basically what you were expecting, or yeah, all around? How did you feel your players fared for themselves?
I think my players did a pretty good job. I would say that the roster change is a pretty huge change for our team. I think it will improve the entire team in a couple of weeks. We just need to practice on scrims and to strat a couple of maps. But yeah, I think after a couple of weeks, maybe months, that will be paying off.
Yeah, that's the nature of an investment basically. For the time being, you're somewhat weaker, but in the long run, it might be worth it. So,
Exactly.
Kafe as a map has had a few updates recently. Not the map itself, but I mean the meta, and the community has figured things out. Like Reading Room would be considered a lot stronger than it previously was because the community has figured out how to defend the top floor. And looking at it this way, the defense should be even easier or even stronger on this map. But we saw a 3-3 scoreline for the first half, and the second half was also pretty tight or pretty close. What do you make of that?
I would put the fault on the fact that we haven't scrimmed that map very much, and we know that our strat on reading is not that good, and we need to improve that because, as you said, the meta improve every season, and this strat is pretty old, so we need to update that. And yeah, I think with another strat and more scrimming, we could have put a score of 4-2 or 5-1 after the defense. But yeah, again, a bit of practice, and we need to practice more together with the new roster.
And I mean, I could ask you a few more questions, but I feel like the answer is basically always going to come back to new team, more practice, better results in the future. For example, the one round with the triple kill Nitrocell. I mean, that round was pretty close. I think it was pretty telling of the game as a whole. It was fairly close. It came down to the wire, but in that instance, Uniique Esports ended up winning. But it could have gone both ways. So I'm gonna twist the question around. Do you think you've made a mistake somewhere? Like you said, you could have maybe done better with a more seasoned roster. Do you think you could identify one mistake which you hope to not commit again if you were to start or to do the game over?
Yeah, there's a couple of mistakes that we could improve. Some that you can see on stream, like our communication is not that good, and we need to improve on this one. Our droning is not perfect too, like the last round. Sorry, Jaeger was not droned, and he nearly killed the whole team before Limbo killed the Jaeger and the Bandit. But yeah, our droning is not that good, so we need to improve that. But yeah, a couple of mistakes, and I think that we can improve that in a couple of scrims, and we can come back stronger on this map. But yeah.
Amazing. That is basically all the questions I had for you tonight. So once again, thank you for being here. Congratulations on your victory, and I hope you the best of luck for your next week. And by the way, next week you are gonna have a crazy game. You are going to be facing off against OnlyFans. If I was just to put the chat into context, Hostile Actions, they have a flawless track record, 6-0 so far. OnlyFans, they have a 4-0 scoreline as well. They have not yet played both of their games this week. So on paper, they could also be, having this 6-0 scoreline in time to face off against each other. So assuming OnlyFans are able to beat their two opponents this week, well then the winning streak for one of those two teams would be cut short right about next week. And that is going to be a match that you guys do not want to miss. Unfortunately, I cannot already say, hey, it's going to be next Thursday on that time, since the players are going to be figuring this amongst themselves. We do have a flexible scheduling policy. So yeah, I cannot already tease the next stream, but I know it is a stream that you guys do not want to miss. So that's going to be about it for us tonight. So once again, thank you for being here. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
I hope you the best of luck for your upcoming games. And with that being said, have an amazing rest of the night.
Thank you, you too. And thank you for the whole tournament and stuff. That's all on you. And thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. And see you next week.
Yeah, see you.
Bye-bye. So yeah, that is going to be just about it for us tonight. Once again, thank you all for being here. I will be showing one last thing before we leave. And don't worry, it's not going to be another Raid Shadow Legends ad. I did see one or two references to that in the stream earlier on. It's going to be actually the standings. So if we were to take a look at that, oh gosh, let me just make this a little bit bigger. That looks right about just about right. So, like I said, Hostile Actions, 6-0, perfect scoreline. OnlyFans, oh gosh, please go away. OnlyFans, they can still get the perfect scoreline. Mishmash Gaming, they've played their 6 games already, so they've played their 2 matches this week. 4 victories, 2 defeats. They are, on par with OnlyFans once again. And Mishmash would be one of the strong, one of the strong teams. Uniique Esports, though they've been knocked down a peg, they just received their second defense. Well, they are also going to be sitting at around 9 points. And you can see that it drops down. I don't want to say dramatically because, the Astronauts number 1. That roster has disbanded, by the way. They would have been pretty good, but then all of their upcoming games will be, forfeited by default. So they will be dropping down to last place. There's no way in hell, for example, Arsenal Esports doesn't get 2 victories total this season. And then it drops down, honestly, pretty dramatically. Once again, Dead Astronauts, they no longer exist. And therefore, Uniique Esports, their gap between them and the next team is basically of 2 wins. So even though they are the 4th team, for the time being, have a comfortable margin and are fairly certain of making it to the playoffs, should the current situation and should the current wins keep on blowing the way they are. So that is going to be just about it for us tonight. Once again, thank you all for being here. That was an amazing game. I hope you liked it just like I did. See you all tomorrow, since tomorrow we'll be having 1 or 2 games. However, as far as I could tell, they were still debating when exactly they wanted the game to be played. Let me see. We still have 3 matches to play this week. So the one game seems to be played this Saturday. But then there's going to be, tomorrow 9 p.m. And the other game is going to be played around 7 or 8. So it looks like we're going to be having a multi-game stream tomorrow. So tomorrow around 7 or 8, just keep an eye on our Discord and you'll see everything there is to see about that, or on our Twitter rather. But with that being said, once again, thank you all for being here. Have an amazing rest of the night. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.
Attackers dropped the diffuser. Operators, you have run out of time. Attackers dropped the diffuser. Attackers dropped the bomb. Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser. Seconds remaining. Bomb located by attackers. 5 seconds remaining. Attackers dropped the diffuser. Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser. A bomb has been made. Defenders have eyes on the diffuser. Attackers need to protect it.